Hey, Slater Crusaders, thanks so much for being here. I can't believe we're going to start off our new show with this gem of a story, but alas, here we are. Before we get to it, we said years ago, as soon as transgender bathrooms in North Carolina came out of nowhere, remember that story a couple years ago? We said that this transgenderism stuff is coming and it's coming fast. And now we have Drag Queen Story Hour, and the latest is Drag Queen Story Hour in daycares. It's gonna keep going. It will never stop. I don't quite know what's next. I just know it'll keep sinking lower and lower. The best I could predict, and I'm hesitant to even give these sickos any ideas, is dressing up kindergartners in drag. I think that's probably the next thing, but they'll come up with something, that's for sure. So, Kings County, in Seattle, they had a homeless conference. All the government bureaucrats had their big homeless conference. And naturally, obviously, they needed some entertainment. So they chose, of course, what any of our first choice would be, an obese black transgender stripper. You know, to give lap dances to people in attendance. Oh, because see, again, this is our first show. This is what we have to do. I think we're good. We're good. That's enough. We get the idea. You got a taste for what we're talking about here. Apologies for that. You didn't need fake blue boobs flopping all over the place. You didn't expect that. At one point, she puts some food item in a woman's mouth and then takes it out of her mouth with her. It's a whole striptease thing at this homeless conference, and people are clapping and going along with it. Why? What is going on here? Why would anyone ever think to have an obese black transgender stripper at a homeless conference? Surely it went up some chain of approval. I mean, first, a person had to think it was a good idea. That kind of blows my mind. And then others had to think it was also a good idea. And before you know it, Beyonce Black St. James is at your homeless conference, paid for, by the way, by taxpayers. So why? And then why would a single person in that room clap and go along with this at a homeless conference? What is going on? So here's why. Here's what happened. It's not about homelessness. The people at this conference, the bureaucrats at this conference, it's not about homelessness. Any group, any charity that's genuinely there to combat homelessness, they would never dream of such a thing. We work with plenty of homeless groups. I live here in San Diego. We got Salvation Army, the Rescue Mission. There's a bunch of groups here in San Diego that we work with. I've been to all of their events. They would never dream of such a thing because they are there for a purpose, a very specific purpose, a righteous purpose, and they have to be accountable to their donors as well. A government bureaucracy, first of all, not accountable to anyone, so they can spend their money on strippers and still claim, oh, we just don't have enough resources to help homeless people. But the main point is, it's not about homelessness, it's about ideology. All of this is grouped together under the umbrella of victimhood. So you've heard before of the oppression Olympics. So these are the different groups that, and white people at the bottom, at the very top, you got your Muslims, and there's a nice little pyramid of victim hierarchy right here. So you got Muslims at the top, transgenders, non-citizens, black women. So, this transgender black stripper checks off two of these boxes right here. There's a couple groups in here that are missing as well, but you get the idea. In the progressive worldview also, you have the victim mentality. The biggest victims are criminals, homeless people, and again, not to be too specific, but obese black transgender strippers. If they're all victims from the progressive worldview and the progressive mindset, then the people at this conference, they're all saviors. And that's how they view themselves. They view themselves as the saviors and the saints. And we're here to rescue all the oppressed. The bureaucrats there, the progressive social justice warriors there, they're not there to help homeless people. They're there to help all oppressed people. And that's why this transgendered stripper gets the invite. Because she or he or they, whatever, represent so many oppressed groups. Body positive, black transgender, a sex worker, And as savior of all oppressed people, of course you would invite this person to strip in front of you. And you have to love it too. You got it, everyone in that group? You have to love it. You got to clap. You got to play along. Because what are you? What are you, some kind of bigot? Are you against black people? Are you against transgendered people? Are you against sex workers? Are you against the downtrodden and oppressed? Then clap and love it and hoot and holler. In their mind, they're helping the oppressed.